It was a quiet evening in the small town of Riverdale. Officer Greg Larson was nearing the end of his shift. The roads were mostly deserted, and the air was thick with the promise of rain. Greg prided himself on keeping the town safe, and tonight seemed no different. That was until he noticed a silver sedan speeding past the town's hospital zone, well above the posted speed limit. Greg flipped on his lights and siren, pulling the car over. As he approached the vehicle, his practiced composure took over. Inside the car was a woman in scrubs, clearly a nurse. Her knuckles were white on the steering wheel, her face flushed with panic. Greg's instincts told him something was off, but he remained professional. "Good evening, ma'am. Do you know why I pulled you over?" he asked, keeping his tone calm but firm. The nurse's voice trembled as she spoke. "I'm so sorry, officer. I was rushing to get to a safe place." "A safe place?" Greg repeated, puzzled. He glanced at the passenger seat and his heart nearly stopped. Sitting there, pale and silent, was his own son, Charlie. Greg's mind reeled. His ex-wife, Linda, had custody of Charlie, and he wasn't supposed to see his son until the weekend. What was Charlie doing in this car? And why did he look so frightened? "Charlie!" Greg's voice cracked as he took a step closer. "What's going on here?" The nurse's eyes darted between Greg and Charlie, panic flashing in her gaze. "Officer Larson, I didn't know he was your son. I found him on the side of the road a few miles back. He flagged me down saying he needed help." Greg's pulse quickened. "Found him? On the side of the road? Why? What happened?" Charlie finally spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. "Dad, I ran away." The words hit Greg like a sledgehammer. Charlie was only 10 years old. Why would he run away? And from where? Greg crouched down to Charlie's eye level. "Son, what's going on? Why were you out there alone?" Tears welled in Charlie's eyes. "I was scared. Mom's boyfriend. He was yelling. He got really mad at me. I didn't know what to do, so I ran." Greg felt a surge of anger and protectiveness. He had always worried about Linda's new boyfriend, Eric, but he never imagined it would lead to this. "It's okay, buddy. You're safe now." He turned back to the nurse. "Thank you for helping him. I can't tell you how much this means to me." The nurse nodded, relief washing over her face. "I didn't want to leave him out there. He said he was scared and needed to get somewhere safe." Greg stood and took a deep breath, his mind racing with what to do next. He couldn't let Charlie go back to Linda's house, not until he knew more about what was happening there. "I'll take it from here," Greg said. He gently opened the passenger door and helped Charlie out. As the boy clung to his father, Greg felt a wave of guilt for not being able to protect him sooner. The nurse hesitated. "Officer, I need to get back to my shift at the hospital, but if you need me to provide any information, I'm happy to help." Greg nodded. "Thank you. Can I get your name and contact information in case I need to follow up?" "Of course," she said, handing over a business card. Her name was Emily Carter, and she worked in the pediatric ward of Riverdale General Hospital. After ensuring Emily could leave safely, Greg put Charlie in the back seat of his patrol car. He radioed in to let dispatch know he was ending his shift early. His priority now was his son. As they drove home, Greg tried to get more details from Charlie. "How long has this been going on? Has Eric hurt you?" Charlie shook his head. "No, he never hit me, but he yells a lot. He scares me, Dad. And Mom, she doesn't do anything. She just tells me to stay out of his way." Greg's grip tightened on the steering wheel. He knew he had to take action, but he also knew it wouldn't be easy. Custody battles were messy, and Linda would fight him every step of the way. But he couldn't let Charlie go back to that environment. When they arrived at Greg's house, he made Charlie some hot chocolate and promised him that everything would be okay. That night, as Charlie slept in the safety of his old bedroom, Greg began making calls. First to his lawyer, then to Child Protective Services. By morning, Greg had a plan. He would fight for full custody of Charlie, no matter what it took. As a father and a police officer, his job was to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. And that started with his son. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of court hearings and investigations. Emily Carter's testimony about finding Charlie on the road was crucial, and so was Greg's documentation of the incident. In the end, the court ruled in Greg's favor. Charlie would stay with him, safe and sound. As they settled into their new routine, Greg often thought about that fateful night. If he hadn't pulled over that speeding car, who knows what might have happened. It was a reminder that sometimes life's coincidences weren't coincidences at all. They were opportunities to make things right. Greg made it his mission to give Charlie the stability and love he needed to heal. They spent weekends fishing at the lake, playing catch in the backyard, and rebuilding the bond that had been strained over the years. Greg also made sure to attend counseling sessions with Charlie, ensuring his son had the tools to process his emotions and feel secure again. Meanwhile, Emily Carter's act of kindness didn't go unnoticed. Greg made it a point to visit her at the hospital and personally thank her. Over time, their interactions grew more frequent, and they found comfort in each other's company. Emily's gentle demeanor and unwavering compassion were exactly what Greg and Charlie needed. Months later, Greg and Emily began dating. Their shared commitment to helping others created a strong foundation for their relationship. Emily became a positive influence in Charlie's life, encouraging him to pursue his interests and reminding him he was loved. Looking back, Greg realized that night had changed everything. A speeding car, a frightened boy, and a compassionate stranger had set the course for a new chapter in their lives. It was proof that even in the darkest moments, light could find its way through. And for Greg, Charlie, and Emily, the future was brighter than ever.